Now, I got to say,
definitely on the record.
There you go. That was a fantastic reading. I know it must be something you've done a few times, but the energy and obviously the improv, it's like stand-up.
Yeah, it is. It kind of, it's sort of, I have a little bit of a patter going on.
Sure.
But when you get in front of kids, they bring you off in different directions, and you know, they can say funny things like, as I was saying in there, one kid said to me once, you know what my dad calls coconuts? And I said, what? He said, monkey eggs. And I thought, really, that's brilliant. And I ended up putting that into the book.
Fantastic.
And I never checked the little girl's name who said it, and I can't even remember where it was. I think it was in Clonmel or somewhere like that. So I did thank the anonymous girl in Clonmel in the back of the book for that idea. But I put in the whole monkey egg idea with a child giving another kid a coconut to mind in the hope that a monkey egg or a monkey hatch out the egg. So it's great fun. You get great energy from the kids, and I love doing it.
Now, before we get on to the fact that it's great to see another bookshop opening in Greystones, especially one just solely dedicated to children. From your own kind of history point of view, I know you had a wonderfully inspiring sister who seemed to have a great comic effect, and ultimately tragedy turned to comedy when you recognised the quality of it.
She did, yeah.
But you love Charles Dickens. I know you have 5 copies, I think, of Christmas Carol.
Oh, that is absolutely, actually,
right.
It's 7 copies.
7 copies now.
It's my favourite Charles Dickens. I love all the Charles Dickens books, but that one is my favourite of the Charles Dickens oeuvre.
Yeah.
And every Christmas I'll read it. Like, just coming up to mid-November, I'll start it. It doesn't take long to read.
Yeah.
But I've got everything. I even had the spitting image version of it with all the puppets
you know,
doing.
Brilliant.
And different, I think Quentin Blake is
and the Muppets did a good version as well, actually. When it comes to the movies.
One of my favourite films.
That's one of the great film. We're showing it down the Whale over Christmas. It's a cracker.
Yeah, and
Michael Caine gives one of his best performances.
Oh God, yeah, his best performance. Never mind blow the bloody doors off, you know. Hamburg.
Yeah. Well, we should say that idea that your own work would be sort of leaning towards Roald Dahl. I don't know whether there's a turning point that you sort of recognise. Well, as much as I love Dickens, as much as I love Star Trek for a while, all these different influences still have come out with this comedic, wonderfully kind of, you know, childlike kind of imagination. Did you recognise it early on? Well, that's where I feel comfortable. That's what I do.
When I was a kid, I was a huge fan of Roald Dahl and also Enid Blyton. So I think, and also stuff like the Hardy Boys and the Three Investigators, which was written by Alfred Hitchcock, who was like, he didn't write it, or Ghostwriter. But all these kind of crime books and funny books, they were what I read, and books about kids who were inventors and stuff like that. So that's kind of all in my head, mushing around, including all the TV shows that I used to watch when I was a kid, like Bionic Man and Blake Seven and Star Trek and Star Wars.
A great big melting pot of...
A big melting pot, yeah. Now it's oozing out my ears and oozing out me, not well, I won't say the nose, but it's oozing out the ears. And it's kind of the ink that I write my stories with now. You know, they're silly stories, kind of science fiction bent to them, but they're all kind of adventure things and very child empowerment as well. Like, you rarely get that many adults in my books, and when you do get adults, it's like Roald Dahl. They're either totally off the wall crazy ones like Danny Gig, or they're evil ones. They're evil ones like the bad guy. Sorry, it's a dog.
That's Max. Max. Yeah, he just wants. He's Velcro. He likes it. Anybody who's nearby, they have to pet him. That's his rule. Come on, Max. You're all right.
Rule. I think I'll take up that rule myself.
I'm always fascinated by. I was lucky enough to interview Pixar for a few years. I went over there. Every film they kind of always acknowledge. Disney knew it, and they mentioned Star Wars too. That kids like a bit of darkness, and they like their relationship to snot is very different to an adult's relationship to snot.
Absolutely.
And recognizing that kind of mischief, and they just love the naughty. They love that was obviously quite a motivating kind of part of your storytelling as well.
It was, yeah. Well, I think deep down I probably am about 9 or 10 or 11 or something like that, and I never really grow up. I think everybody is like that. It's about find the child inside you and just kind of letting that child kind of out, and the farts and the snots and stuff like that. That's all part of being a kid, and part of being an adult as well. But as you say, you kind of brush it under the covers and under the carpet and stuff like that. But not me.
I don't know if there's been an update in this. You have 3 sons, I think, is it?
I do. I have 3 sons. So
are they a bit of a testing ground? Do they tend to sort of get involved?
They used to be. Now 2 of them are older now. They're teenagers. One's leaving, and the other one's in art college. But my younger guy is. So
nothing's ever cool for them, no matter how funny it is.
Even when they were the right age for reading the books, which was, they were just coming out of being the right age for reading books when I started. But they wouldn't read them, and they'll only read them now. Like, they won't read them before they're apprenticed. They say, "Oh, wait until it's a real book," and then they'll kind of flick through and go, "Yeah, it wasn't too bad, Dad. Wasn't too bad."
Isn't that lovely?
The most incisive reviews come from my children. It's all right.
So I'm not sure what age you were now when you wrote. I think it was Splat was your first kind of. You made a little comic.
Yes, yeah. I would have been in about first class when we were doing that. Yeah, myself and my friend Ian Whelan used to do comics years ago.
Yeah.
When we were at school. We'd make them in the school, like in the school room. Like when the class was going on, we'd be kind of, I dropped me pencil under the table and going under the table, talking about comics and drawing up quick panels, and then I found a teacher. Back up again, and then we, like I was drawn the whole way through school. I was drawn the whole way, comics the whole way through leaving cert and all that. Went to college. I was doing comics, but then myself and Ian. Actually, it was probably myself. I went off to a Comic-Con in Bristol, because I was always a fan of kind of British comics, like the 2000 ADs and Beano and Whoopi and Whizzer and Chips. Yeah. So they're having this big Comic-Con in Bristol, and I went over to it, and I saw all the small press stuff that they had there, and I was looking at it thinking, I could do as well as this. Why am I not here? Why am I going as a punter? I'm a mug. Go as a guest. So the next year I didn't go as a guest, but I bought a table at it, and I bought the table about 8-9 months in advance, and said, well, I have to have something to sell on the table. So I got together with Dean, and we came up with a character called Sancho, who's like a Mexican ex-exorcist priest, who's a bit like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, except male and with a moustache and a bowl haircut. And he goes around the place, killing demons basically, and finding vampires. Like, he fights the ghost of Bram Stoker at one stage. So it was really good fun. And we did the first issue, brought it over to the next year's Bristol, and it sold really well. And we just said, right, we're going to do this for a while. So we were doing that for a good while. And then I started doing stuff for kids comics, and that's kind of where the whole O'Brien Press link came in then.
And was there a point where you realised or sort of said to yourself, this is what I do now, I'm actually doing this professionally, or is it always a fear in the back of your mind that this will...
is a very kind of... professionally means you could actually make a living off it. But yeah, I mean, I think about 80% of what I do now is probably books or book-related sort of events. Like today, or like stuff in libraries, like I go and do workshops in libraries. We've actually just finished October. October is the whole month now is taken up with Children's Book Festival. So authors in Ireland tend to go around to different bookshops and different libraries, different schools, and we're booked in to do it. And you go around on a big tour of Ireland, talking about your books and Irish books and books in general, children's books, to kids. And it's a great way to meet your audience and find out about stuff like monkey eggs and all that kind of stuff. And that's what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks. Were very intensive. I was in Kerry, I was in West Cork, I was in Kilkenny, I was in Meath. I was all over the country doing it. So I'm absolutely wrecked now. So this is my last October.
Big hurrah!
I have one last next week during the holidays, but this is my second last event.
It must feel great. I have a daughter who'll be coming up to 30 in this month, and her life now is Harry Potter, and she before her mother.
13. I thought you said 30.
30. Yes.
30.
Yeah.
Wow,
there you go.
You certainly don't look like it.
But the idea that her life was just books. Her mom and herself are both writers, and they studied English and all that. And I just feel that there is a very healthy. I don't know whether you'd sort of notice that it's grown almost with the fact that you would think internet and all the rest is going to just take that away from kids. If anything, they seem to, like vinyl for adults, they kind of gravitate towards the book.
It's coming back. Yeah. Well, I go to the Children's Books Ireland conference every year, and every year I go, I meet people that I've never met. You meet all your friends, and you meet all the other authors that you know really well, and it's like a big party. But every year there's different people who you've never met before who are just interested in children's books, and these would be people like your daughter, people are about 30 in their 20s. There's so many people like that who just have a great interest in it, and I can only imagine that it's the internet that's doing that. It's people are tweeting about it, they're following people who are tweeting about it. There's Instagram about books, people are following people on Instagram, and there's just a great interest in it, and I think it's fantastic. And then there's superstars as well, who are coming out of books like, never mind J.K. Rowling. I mean, there's Owen Colfer, who's fantastic. There's Oliver Jeffers, there's Chris Judge, and people.
Alan Nolan. There's
I'd be a minor player. I'd be the toenail smile on that body. But anyway,
we should give a shout out not only to the great Trish, who's a dream come true for her. She's been a kid who's been dreaming of this kind of scenario all her life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we've got the great Fidelma down the road with the Village Bookshop. They recognised very early on to that children's books are huge.
I'm a regular visitor down to the Village Bookshop.
So
and I think I've done workshops there as well over the years.
Yeah.
So she's
as main streets wobble unless they're doing food or unless they're doing like haircuts, it's great to see bookshops too in a relatively small town. It's great.
I think the internet is fine, and it's grand, and you can buy books really easily. I bought books off the internet myself, mostly out of print stuff that is very hard to get, that I used to read when I was a kid. But I think if you have a child or if you have a grandchild and you want to get something that they will love, the best place to come is a bookshop, because they're the people with the knowledge. Libraries too, but if you're looking to buy a book as a present or buy a book as something that you want to pass on to your child as a lovely gift or whatever, I think, or as something that will not change their life but certainly add to their life, bookshop is the place to come to.
And of course it's like trying on a new jacket or a new hat. It has to fit to it. They know it fits them. They get that feeling from the book. They look at what it's about and it's in their hand and they say this fits my hand just right.
Absolutely. And the people who know that and will know exactly what your kids want are the people who work in bookshops. They're fantastic.
Nice. Well, we'll put in the links now to your own websites and I think a lot of people seeing this will know your work. But congratulations, that reading was just beautiful and
thank you.
Kids just loved it. Well done, my son.
Cheers.